Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Glad you're along. We are guest hosted this week by Captain Inglis Glover. He is our expert insider reporter over in the southeast region. He lives in the Carolinas and he does lots of great red fishing along the Atlantic Gulf Coast. This is going to be a lot of fun. Right now, we're turning it over to Captain E. Fox Sports Outdoors is on the air right now.
It's time for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Hey folks, Captain Inglis Glover sitting in for Barry this week as the host of Fox Sports Outdoors show, and I tell you what, it is my pleasure as always to sit in for Barry. He's got some big shoes to fill, but we're gonna have a great time today. I'm bringing you down to an area that I love to call home, Georgetown, South Carolina. The incredible fisheries here from freshwater to saltwater, both inshore and offshore, are easily accessible. I'm standing here at the Carroll Campbell Complex right now, which is on the Sandpit River here. There's some incredible bass fishing, and over the last couple years, we've had a lot of the bigger bass tours come into town and fish. Well, we've got a real big bass tour coming. The Bassmasters Elite Series Winyah Bay Classic will be contested right here at the Carroll Campbell Complex. I tell you what, we're gonna have a great time. I've got the Pro 175 team here, my good buddies over at Marshall's Marine have supplied me with, and I'm gonna put it in the water here, head over to an area in Winyah Bay that a good buddy of mine, Captain Fred Rourke of Sweet Tea Charters, fishes all the time. I'm gonna hop on his little shallow water skip with him. We're gonna head back into some water and look for some early spring redfish that'll be back there in those shallows. We also got some great reports from your inside reporters, but right now, let's go back to the FSN studio for your weekly planner.
According to the Salooner tables, the best day to fish over the weekend will be Saturday. Conditions are listed as good with the peak daylight time starting around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Expect the sun to rise at 7:04 and set at 7:53. And we just had a new moon this week, so evening skies will be mostly dark. We'll be right back with fishing reports from around the area. And I'll return with Bassmaster Elite angler Alton Jones to answer your Ask the Pro question. Back in a bit.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And Lowrance Electronics, find, navigate, dominate.
Fishing in Georgetown area during the early spring is probably one of my favorite times to get down here and target redfish. They're starting to move out of these shallow waters as the water temperature warms up, and they'll move into that spring pattern. But for right now, we've located some fish that are in some shallower creeks. We're gonna slide up in here. What I've got is a Carolina rig rigged with a mud minnow out. We're gonna have a great time. I know there's some big redfish back here. With South Carolina's slot being 15 to 23 inches, most of these fish are gonna be on the top side of that or even over it, and we're looking forward to it. This time of the year, again, these fish are in here. There's mullet, there's some shrimp in there. They're back there, they can find them in that shallower water that warms up quicker, and they're also able to get away from the predators such as the bottlenose porpoises back here. Come on, this is a nice stud fish for in here in this shallow. Tell you what, we're giving a good test to the old American Hero edition here. The Lew's rod. Yes, what a nice fish. God, look at this redfish. Good old low country, early spring, cold water redfish. I'm gonna climb down here. Come here, buddy. That owner circle hook is in him good. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Tell you what, I didn't even have time to get my net set. Don't even have my net out here, so I'm gonna try and reach over. Boy, what a nice fish. There we go. We'll set him right here for a second. Get this circle hook out of him. I tell you what, folks, if you have never done battle with a redfish, you are missing out. Boy, it's in there good. If you don't think a circle hook will hold them, there we go. All right, what a beautiful, beautiful South Carolina redfish. I'll tell you what, again, early spring, late winter, the water temperature's starting to cool down. We're back here in the shallow waters of Winyah Bay, targeting some nice redfish. We're gonna get this fish back. I tell you what, there's a lot going on in your body of water too. Let's go to a reporter in your area and see what's happening there.
Hey friends, Cajun Phil here with your Fox, Louisiana Outdoor Fishing Report. I tell you what, it's been a great week. We're getting reports from just about everywhere. Let's start with the white perch. A lot of calls from the Atchafalaya Basin. In Cajun, right now we catch lots of, not only white perch, but bluegill, chickapin, goggle eye. I tell you what, right now the Atchafalaya Basin is catching lots of fish. Remember, beetle spins or flea flies working under a popping cork, about 8, 10, 12 inches of water, has been working the best. I tell you what, also up at Toledo Bend, a lot of white perch reports coming in. They're catching there though in 15, 18 foot of water, a lot deeper water. They're catching there mostly on shiners and sunken Christmas trees. Speaking of Toledo Bend, lots of big bass. We got reports of about, I'd say at least 15 bass, over 10 to 12 pounds been caught on Toledo Bend. They're off to a good start. Let's look at some saltwater action right now. I talked to Captain Bill Lake down in Houma, Louisiana. Captain Bill says all of his guys are coming in with good limits of speckled trout just about each and every day. Captain Chris Pike down in Delacroix, he's doing the same thing, but he's catching redfish and speckled trout down in Delacroix, Louisiana. Here closer to home, Captain Kevin and Captain Carlos, they've been doing good on, as well as the rest of our guys, they've been doing good on speckled trout, redfish, and some flounder being caught right now, so that's really a good sign. Praise the good Lord, we don't get a whole lot of rain, whole lot of wind, whole lot of bad weather, because I tell you what, it's beginning to get on fire, and it's just going to get better and better. Like we say here at the Cajun Paradise Lodging Charters, come and get you some. Till next week, this is Cajun Phil for Captain Kevin and Carlos, who's out there on the water right now, snorkeling and yanking. Saying happy fishing, may God bless, and we're going to see you folks next week. Bye-bye.
One thing that's super important in this Winyah Bay area, and actually in most of your estuaries, is making sure you've got tackle that can hold up in the conditions. And what I'm dealing with here is we've got a lot of oyster rakes that are in this creek. So I'm fishing with some 20-pound braid right now on these American Hero collections. And I've also got my Carolina rigs rigged with 30-pound fluorocarbon. I've got that fluorocarbon so that it vanishes in the water, and also I've got that 30-pound so that it'll hold up and be abrasion resistant around these oysters. That way, as I'm fighting these fish and they're swimming in that shallow 6, 7, 8 inch water and rubbing up against those oysters, we're able to get that fish in the boat. Now you can see what we're fishing on. Again, we're back here in probably 7, 8 inches of water, and we're throwing these baits out there in an area that's about 3 foot deep, and these redfish are in here. There's some mullet in here. There's something for them to feed on. Oh yeah, come on, here we go. I tell you what, if you want to get down here and do this, my good buddy Fred Rourke of Sweet Tea Charters can take care of you and get you out here to enjoy. Look at this. Oh yes, what a nice fish. But if you'll visit sweetteacharters.com, you can get more information on my good friend Fred. Come here. Oh yeah, look at that circle hook. Isn't there good? Come here, buddy. All right. We're gonna give you some TV time real quick. Here we go, getting the pliers. Let's get that circle hook out, and I'll tell you what. Come here, buddy. There we go. All right. Want to use a circle hook. It doesn't get down in their gut, but man, what a nice fish. What a nice redfish. Good old South Carolina low country. Again, we're in the Winyah Bay, Georgetown area. We're gonna get him loose. Let him swim back. Good release, good release. You know, I mentioned earlier in the show that the Bassmasters Elite is coming to town here, the Winyah Bay Hook event that will be contested here on April 7th through the 10th. Is going to be an incredible tournament, and we're literally only 10 minutes where I'm at right now from some of the best bass fishing that we have to offer in the area. These redfish are up in here. I've got a school of about 20 fish in front of me here. The water was green till we pushed the boat in there. Those fish got excited. They're feeding on some mullet and muddied up the water pretty good, but that green is the color you want to target these fish. It's easier to see them, and it's what they love. Now, the other thing about redfish, most of these fish are a little bit over slot or quite out of the slot, but what we're going to do is make sure we handle them with care, making sure that I'm not going to put them on a boga grip, hold them sideways. I'm going to make sure that this fish survives so that he can go on and produce some more fish for us to catch in the future for us and our kids. In early spring, these fish are back in these shallow areas. Come here, look at the size of this fish. We're on a school of probably about 15 to 20 fish, all in this same size. And come on, buddy, let's go. Woo, that is a nice big old Georgetown redfish. Come on. Come on in here, baby. Come on up here. Having to slide him across the mud there. But this is typical, buddy. And come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Tell you what, I'm enjoying this Lou's Tournament Inshore Series. What a great rod to fight these on. Come on. Get in there. There we go. All right. Come here, buddy. There we go. We definitely gonna take good care of him. That circle hook is right in the corner of the mouth, as it should be. Got my pliers here. Let's get that out. Come here, buddy. We only using you on TV, buddy. We're making you famous. Making you famous for all our good friends out here on Fox Sports Outdoors. Come here. Calm down. There we go. Boy, that thing is stuck in the corner of that mouth good. There we go. That is one. Whoop! Look at there. There goes a perfect release. He's off to the races. I tell you what, there's some great things going on in your body of water, and we got some wonderful reporters to share some great tips to make your day on the water better. Let's go to your reporter in your neck of the woods and see what's happening.
Hey, the source for my fishing report this week is Randy Joe Haven. Not just a great fisherman, but also a great singer-songwriter from the Oklahoma City area. Now, Randy, on a recent outing to Texoma, was kind enough to share with me what he did to catch this bass. I want to share that with you so you can check that out either on Texoma or any of the lakes you're going to right now, because what he said is very consistent with what I'm hearing from many places right now. Most of his fish came about halfway back in the creeks, fishing the little subtle shallow pockets along the shoreline, catching those bass 4 to 6 foot of water. That's a really key depth right now. Pay attention to that whatever lake you go to. He said their best luck came on jigs, a green pumpkin jig with an orange trailer, also caught fish on spinnerbaits, standard Colorado blade spinnerbait with white and chartreuse skirt, and also some fish came on square bills. Again, 4 to 6 feet, look for those areas, and he said there's quite a bit of stain to the water, so you know, that's the colors they went with, and that's why it worked well for what they're doing on this day, which he said was windy. We've had lots of wind here recently. Use that to your advantage. Now, I mentioned Randy is singing. He's got a great song out called I Want to Go Fishing. I hope you'll check it out. You can find all of his songs on the website if you go to songsfromthetacklebox.com. As far as the white bass and the white bass runs, it's really been on again, off again in the places. If you've had some current, it's been really good. But you know, unless you're in one of those spots that had some of these recent rains, then you probably haven't had much current there. They're along the banks. It's going to all happen here really soon. I'm predicting our next full moon is going to be a great fishing moon. I hope you can get out to catch them, but you can't catch them if you don't go.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Lou's, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
Well, a lot of times when you're in those shallow areas, these fish will get really excited and nervous. You may see 20, 30 fish and cannot get them to bite. What's happened is a lot of times we've gone into these creeks, we'll hook them to a fish. Everybody gets a little nervous, they don't want to bite, so we'll move around. Well, the tide's risen a little bit. We've moved to an area where these fish are going to be passing through. I've got a couple oyster rakes right now. We're going to throw out the mud mitt on a Carolina rig. Let them sit right there between these oyster rakes. And again, an artificial works great this time of the year. Also, a gulp, anything with a good scent. You know, a redfish a lot of times is going to eat with his nose. So having something out there with some good scent is sure to produce a good fish. Now, I'll tell you what, again, the Georgetown area is just incredible. I could sit here and have a great time just looking around, enjoying all the views and wildlife, but it is nice to get one on the end of the line and use this American Hero collection to fight a real nice low country redfish. Look at this beautiful redfish right here. Oh man. All right. These are so much fun. I joke around with all my freshwater buddies and give them a hard time about how these redfish will wear out a largemouth. And I know a lot of avid freshwater fishermen that do love coming down and doing some saltwater fishing and getting on these wonderful redfish. Come on, buddy. Here we go. All right. All right, come here. Swim on out. There we go. Now that, folks, would probably be a great tournament fish. Our slot here in South Carolina is 15 to 23 inches. And we can keep 3 fish per person. Come on, there we go. What a beautiful, beautiful redfish. Look at that. Man, that would be a great tournament fish. All right, buddy, we're gonna let you go. He's off to the races. That didn't take long at all. I tell you what, there's some great reports going on your body of water. Let's go to your reporter in your neck of the woods and see what's biting.
Hi folks, this week's Lone Star Lakes is once again brought to you by Lone Star Outdoor News, who will gladly deliver a copy of the newspaper every other week to your doorstep by subscription. Now this week we're going to start at Lake Bridgeport, where catfish have moved into the shallows in the tributary creeks. Trotline fishermen are primarily fishing more toward the mouth of the creeks, while your rod and reel fishermen are doing better about halfway back, maybe a little more. They're both using cut bait and live bait to catch those Bridgeport cats. Now, recent water releases of floodwaters have extended the sand bass spawn on a couple of tributaries, namely that coming out of Lake Lavon and Lake Palestine. Much of these tributary waters run through private land, so you'll need to fish either along the highway bridge crossings where you can gain access, or you may want to float a canoe or a kayak in order to catch these spawning sand bass. Now, a note to those kayak and canoers that may hit the water: please be aware of deadheads, overhangs, and rushing floodwaters in some of these areas. You'll need to be very careful. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Lone Star Outdoor News. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, strong spring winds and fresh water continue to impact where anglers are fishing along the Texas coast. Now on the upper coast, fish returning from the Gulf as well as fish being pushed southward due to the fresh water are congregating on the south end of Sabine and Galveston Bays. Anglers free shrimping around rocky structure and around mid-bay reefs are being rewarded. Now, an emerging topwater bite is also gathering momentum. East Matagorda, West Matagorda, Espiritu Santo, and the lower end of San Antonio Bay are seeing plenty of good action. Unfair Lures Rip and Slash continues to be the hot bait, as well as does their imitation shrimp. Now around Cedar Bayou, Mesquite and Ayers Bays are holding some really good fish. Dagger, Stedman, and up the Lydia Ann Channel, the Allen's Bite is starting to turn on. The Packery Channel Flats, King Ranch Shoreline, and Baffin Bay continue to produce a variety of nice fish on live shrimp, soft plastics, as well as slow sinking baits. Topwater lures and live shrimp are catching fresh from Port Mansfield to Port Isabel. Look to the sand pockets in grass beds, as well as along the edge of spoil islands near the Intercoastal Waterway. This weekend, Saturday and Sunday, is a 3-tide day with 2 high tides and just 1 low. This Sunday has a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides. I'm Bill Olson on another windy day and hoping to see you on the coast.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday at 5:30, or catch the repeat airing Saturday morning at 8. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button, and see lots of how-to and product videos by clicking the how-to button. Also, stay up to date with the latest fishing news, videos, and photos by clicking the follow button on our Twitter feed, and get lots of that same info by clicking the like button on our Facebook page. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Excite AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. Motor Guide Trolling Motors, because accuracy matters. Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made. And Fox Sports Outdoors is driven by Fort Worth Nissan and Lone Star Toyota.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the Ask the Pro question. This week, Daryl would like to know, when should I use a trailer on a spinnerbait? We asked 2008 Bassmaster Classic champion Alton Jones for the answer.
You know, I use a trailer on a spinnerbait anytime I'm fishing it extremely slow but need to keep it up in the water column. You find this real commonly during the early spring, the pre-spawn time frame, when just the first few feet of water are warming up, and you'll find bass suspended along in standing timber, along tree limbs, right underneath floating boat docks. When those fish are suspended high in the water column, use the trailer. It'll help you keep that spinnerbait right up near the surface.
Thank you, Alton. If you have a question for one of the anglers, visit our website, follow the Ask the Pro link on the right side of the page, and let us know. Now one of our viewers wins a new pair of sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week's winner of the Costa Catch of the Week is Mark Hatchell of Edmond, Oklahoma, with an 11-pound largemouth bass. Caught on Broken Bow Lake in Oklahoma, he caught it on a hardhead biffle bug. To enter the contest, visit foxsportsoutdoors.com, then go to the right side of the page and click on the Costa Catch box. Follow the instructions and send us your big fish photo, and you could be the next winner of a new pair of Costa sunglasses. To view the entire line of Costas, simply go back to the website and click on the Costa logo. You'll see all the frame and lens styles, including the ones I'm wearing today called Tuna Alley. Hey folks, let's talk about what we're using on the show today. I tell you what, the Lew's American Hero Collection is an incredible deal. Not only is it incredible performance, but what it does is gives back to the warriors that need therapy on the water. I tell you what, with a portion of the purchases of these American Hero Collection, Lew's is going to donate rod and reels to help these warriors get out on the water. Also a combo, the new Speed Stick and the Speed Spin spinning reel. I tell you what, for saltwater inshore series, these things are incredible. They'll hold up great, and the new collaboration with Wind grips for the grips is so comfortable on your hand. Make sure you check out Academy Sports for all these and anything else you need for the water. Well folks, it's been my pleasure to host in place of Barry this week. He'll be back next week, but I tell you what, always fun hosting the Fox Sports Outdoor Show, and I hope you'll put Georgetown on your list of destinations to visit when you're in the South Carolina area. The incredible fisheries here can be found from freshwater to saltwater, like I said, and you need to visit sweetteacharters.com to get more information on how to fish with my good buddy Captain Fred Rourke, who will put you on the fish here. Also, I want to thank Marshall's Marine so much for supplying us with the Tracker Pro 175 team that we use to get over and meet Captain Fred to target those redfish. It's been an incredible pleasure hosting the Fox Sports Outdoor Show for you. We'll be back next week, and remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.